Mic check. 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Unicycle Lore. We got a special video today. I'm going to be breaking down the World Flatland Unicycling Championship final battle. I watched it like 10 times, took a bunch of notes. It was awesome. We're going to get into some real crunchy unicycle nerd stuff here. This is not for the faint of heart. I'm hoping that you will find this entertaining. But before we get into it, I forgot some stuff last time because I was just so excited to cover, the main event, the expert male finals, that I skipped over the results from the junior expert finals and the female finals. And so we got to talk about that here. Shout out Roos Seegers for pointing out to me that I missed it. I wasn't trying to miss it. I'm sorry. I got caught up in the hype a little bit. So look at this here. We got the final bracket. This is junior expert male. The champion was Fredrik Estupinan Nielsen. I definitely said that wrong, but is Fredrik Nielsen related to Oliver? Or is this just a coincidence that he's got the same last name? I'd love to know. Let me know in the finals. He battled Pelle Sogart in the finals. You'll recognize his name. We've talked about him on the channel before. The Gust Whip was his brainchild, from what I understand. He's a bit of a protege of August Egerskov. And then in third place, Leon Vandenheuvel, which is a name I recognize, although I can't really picture this guy in my head. So if anyone's got clips or anything, please send them, unicyclelore@gmail.com. I'd love to take a look around. Pelle Sogart, to make it to the final, he battled out of these lower brackets, He battled all the way out of lower bracket 1, which is interesting. Oh, same with Fredrik. So the final battle was actually a repeat of the last battle of that lower bracket. That's really interesting. The tournament format they used at Unicon was super cool, I think. The fact that there were so many people in battles was just awesome. I talked about that a little bit last time. Here's the expert female results. Okay, so look here. We got the lower bracket. Roos battled up out of the lower bracket to lose in the this last battle here to Mayuko Kogi. I don't want to call it the finals. And so the two of these riders qualified for the finals. And then Mayuko Kogi got knocked out in the first round to Nina Beckman, which is also a name I recognize. I've seen her clips on Instagram. She's pretty sick at riding. So she beat her in the quarterfinal round here, which is kind of crazy. And then Roos went on to win the final battle with Nina Beckman taking third and Paula Wash taking second. So here's your final results. Top 3, Roos. I think it's actually pronounced more like Rose. I know she uses rose as like a rose as like a logo. Paula Wash in second and Nina Beckman in third, with Marie Schlenker losing in the semifinal round. And there's the rest of your results. Sarah Smith, an American rider. I know Sarah Smith is like always a contender, and she just hits these bad matchups in the battles. I think she got taken out by Roos, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to, right here in this lower bracket semifinal, and which is unfortunate because Sarah's absolutely sick. I'll do some. I need to take a closer look at some of these battles. Admittedly, I only watched the male finals. It was all I had time for when they were happening live. But yeah, I had to shout those riders out. Now, before we get into my breakdown of the expert male finals, I want to talk a little bit about the judging, okay? Because this was, to be honest with you, I was a little confused. My goal or my intention going into this was I wanted to watch the battle. I'd seen it once live, and so I kind of watched it once and just chose my winner based on the eye test, which was sort of what I gave you guys last time. And if you recall, from my vantage point, it looked like it was extremely close until the final trick. Just based on my first viewing, without I scribbled some notes down while I was watching. If I'd been a judge at the competition, I would have been sweating. That's what I'm trying to say. So this time I went through and I with the full luxury of being able to pause and actually write down literally every single trick in handwriting that I could read. And then I could go back and kind of quantify exactly how many tricks were landed versus missed and which ones I thought were difficult and all that stuff. I had the luxury of being able to do that. And then I wanted to actually use the Unicon scoring system to kind of see how this would shake out had I been judging. And I'm going to kind of walk you through this. And along the way, I want to break down individual tricks and talk about them. And we're going to go on all kinds of little side tangents. That's redundant. Every tangent is off to the side. I'm going to talk about things. We're going to dig in some rabbit holes. I'm going to talk about some nerd stuff. I'm going to brag a little bit. This is my channel after all, so I am going to gloat about some tricks that resonated with me personally and why they did so. And I'm going to hopefully teach you a thing or two about a little unicycle history, hence the channel name, guys, Unicycle Lore. Okay, so here's what I found on the Unicon website when I went into the judging thing. Final round scoring, okay? 120-second one-on-one battle, 3 attempts for a final trick. And here is how each of these categories is weighted. You've got your difficulty is 21%, and variety is also 21%. These are the 2 most valuable categories from a scoring perspective. You want to have high difficulty, a lot of variety. Makes sense to me. The 3rd highest is battling. Okay, which to me it seems kind of intuitive. It's like how one rider responds to another. I was looking for like an actual rulebook definition of battling, and I did some digging around on like the IUF rulebook page. The 2019 rulebook is the most current one on the website, from what I could tell. Doesn't mention anything about battling, and it uses also the old scoring system for last trick. So this, I just thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know what exactly is going on there. I also wanted to find a definition for fullness, which I assume kind of just replaces what used to be consistency. And I was correct in my assumptions there. So fullness is the score. You score it based on the time used for successfully landing tricks. Okay, so you're meant to like consider how difficult is a trick, and therefore how much run-up does that trick deserve, and how much actual riding time is used for landing tricks that are, have like an appropriate amount of run-up. Kind of weird, honestly, a little bit detailed. To me, consistency maybe is a little bit of a cleaner metric. I understand that they're trying to, they don't want people to just gamify. They don't want them to game the system here by doing fewer tricks and landing all of them and then getting a high consistency score. I don't know who was doing that, really. Consistency to me seems a little more clear, but fullness is essentially that. They also have flow in these new rulebook things, but flow is replaced by style, and style's more of a vibe thing. I don't know, dude. It's a lot of categories to kind of quantify what is essentially just really subjective. Who did more better tricks? Right? That's kind of how I was judging it. Who did more better tricks? And if it was close, who did a sicker final trick? So that's sort of where I'm coming at it from. But I did want you guys to see the official rules before we really dig in here. So I'm hoping I don't forget to pause this as we go. There's a bunch of tricks I want to talk about, and I got a million comments written down here. I hope this is not a super long video, but I hope also that you will come along for the ride. If you are enjoying the Unicon coverage, I got more to come. I'm not done talking about Unicon. Don't forget to throw the video a like, subscribe. I'm going to be covering stuff outside of the flat battles, but I had so much fun doing this that I might just do all the battles until next Unicon. You know what I mean? I was really enjoying myself. Okay, so let's do this. This is the final battle, Unicon 2026, Steyr, Austria. Stefan Rank, defending world champion, versus the challenger, Trey Hahn. Here we go. Steffi, he opens with a loading screen. Just kidding. Hang on, let's watch that again. Opens with the 360 secret side to rolling wrap, inward varial roll to tire, 3-spin on tire, back roll, rolling wrap, leg wrap, back roll, 2.5 flip. Okay, so he opens with a combo. It's a good combo. That is a good combo. Trey starts with the 540 anti-side. Okay, now right off the bat, you get a little glimpse here into the way this is going to go. Okay? So Steffi starts with this very mechanical, technical combo. And it's everything is extremely clean. Every trick is very controlled. Everything just looks perfect and flawless. And Trey just comes flying in from out of frame and busts a 540 anti-side into the Bay 270 reverse backside flip down. And then he throws the Honster flip. That's the first miss of the battle. Okay, so Trey has officially missed one trick. But then he lands the Honster flip next try. And so then we've got our first pass from each rider. Okay, each rider has taken a turn. I want to talk about a 540 anti-side here. 540 anti-side as an opener for a battle, in my opinion, is just sick. Okay, a 540 anti-side, I don't know anyone else who can do that. I think that is a Trey Hahn NBD, and also I think it's an interesting NBD. I think it's something worth talking about. I'm a big side spin variation guy. I love side spin variations. I've had an affinity for side spins for as long as I can remember. And in fact, this is the first time I'm going to brag in this video. Did you know that I was the first person to land a 180 anti-side? Look at this. This is in my parents' driveway 16 years ago. That is the first anti-side ever. The 180 anti-side. I remember, guys, that on this day when I did that trick, I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. My buddy Pat came over to ride. I had him film this trick for me, and I was just fired up. And I remember just thinking, this is a massive banger, dude. I opened a new door for unicycle tricks. Everyone's going to be doing this. And I wasn't wrong. A couple years later, the trick had evolved. This was dropped in 2014, but this is Chris Kovac in an unused clips video. And he had filmed it in 2013, from what I understand. This was an old clip when it was released in, early winter 2014. So presumably this is from 2013. So just 3 years after I'd landed that 180 anti-side. Look at this. It's a fifth anti-side double flip. So 540 anti-side spin with two flips. And I remember seeing that and just thinking to myself, oh my gosh. Dude, like 180 anti-side's cool, right? 180 anti-side's still a cool trick. Fifth anti-side double. I did one of my own. 2-3 years after Chris did it. This was at Unicon 2016. I was really sick on this day, but I had to show you. The anti-side has really evolved. You know who else has really good anti-side tricks? Alexi Mercat. He can do in fifth anti-side, and it is just like so clean and so nice. That's the first little tangent I had to go on there. I wanted to talk about anti-side spin because I just think it's cool. If you're not in the know, I should have explained this first. Anti-side is where the unicycle spins in one direction, and you rotate the other leg, the opposite leg around the front of the seat. So the unicycle and the leg are rotating counter to one another. It feels kind of weird, feels very cool. I got to be honest. At this point in the battle, despite the fact that Trey has missed a trick and Steffi has not, I love the 540 anti-side opener so much that, in my opinion, he's kind of in the lead here. Okay? He's missed a trick. Now, let's see how Steffi responds. 3 side overflip perfectly, and then the triple back, 2 hands. I got to shout out the 2 hands, okay? For me, that's, that's, you might as well remove a flip. I'm just kidding. A triple back is sick no matter if you do it with 1 or 2 hands. But the first triple back ever, landed in 2007, was done on flat with 1 hand by this guy, Mike Swarbrick. Did you know Mike Swarbrick? UK rider. This is crazy, man. I remember seeing this when I was a kid. Like I had just started riding when this clip dropped. And when I saw this, it blew my mind. Blew my mind, dude. Look at this. And it's a little under-rotated, but the year was 2007. Okay, 2007. Look at this one. Here it is off a ledge. this is the same guy. He was the first person to ever triple back by like, he was way early to that party, okay? Way early. I don't think anyone else landed a triple back till like 2011. Now, people were doing triple backs in 2010, but still, the next rider to land one I think was Hugo Duguay, maybe? I think so. But look at that. He has such cool style. This is the first thing I thought of when I saw Steffi rip a triple back in battle. Like, a triple backflip is still a banger. It's still a banger. And it was landed for the first time in 2007. That is how crazy of a trick that is. So, in my opinion, backing up Trey's first turn where he missed a trick with the 3 side over and the triple back, it's a smart move. What you're going to notice from Steffi, and this should be obvious, right, given the fact that he's, spoiler alert, back-to-back Flatland world champion. If you didn't know that by now, I'm sorry to spoil that for you, but he's got very high flat battle IQ. Okay, so if we're measuring battle IQ, that is one of the metrics used to score these things. Yeah, that's smart. Let's see how Trey responds. We get the 3 side to combo attempt, and he misses it twice. That's not great. It's not great. Outside back scuff, rolling wrap, jump roll, rolling wrap, back roll, step over, Ludwig roll, inward back X roll, 3 spin. So Steffi has those rolls so dialed. This is kind of like what I talked about before. What that does is it applies pressure to Trey. He's just missed 2 tricks. He missed one in his first run. He's currently at 3 missed tricks. Steffi hasn't missed yet. At this point in the battle, Steffi is putting together a perfect run. He's got overflip. He's got the triple back. He's got the combos covered. We're looking for maybe some spins and stuff to kind of round out the variety, maybe a little coast or something. His variety's not quite there yet, but neither is Trey's. The battle is young. And that's a really good strategy. Just stack combos, stack tricks that you are 100% consistent at. I mean, the dude just looks like a machine. He looks like a trick machine. And here comes Trey. Dude, this is like... So there's a comment on this video from Mike Backlida that's like, Steffi looks like a programmed Swiss watch, and Trey just looks like a gunslinger shooting from the hip. And that turn that we just watched compared to what we just saw from Trey, look at this in slow motion, okay? I had to watch this like 20 times. So he goes for what I imagine he was trying to do was a flip to kick flip to foot jam. So he flips it, kicks the tire. I'm guessing that he wanted the wheel to flip backward here. And instead the kick just like stops the flip. Which, probably 9 times out of 10, you just miss the trick when that happens. Okay? But this is the reason Trey's in the final battle here. He saves it by doing this little push forward into a back roll, but he jumps and does another kick flip. This trick is sick, man. And it's like the fact that he could pull this so off balance into the foot jam and he lands it. And then this stylish little thing. Dude, I feel like you couldn't... Outside of like one of those Japanese flat style guys making it to the battle against Steffi, I don't know that you could have a bigger difference in style. You know what I mean? This is a battle where I feel like each rider could have a perfect score for style. Like you almost just have to throw style out the window looking at this because both of them have very cool style. Steffi has this really cool controlled mechanical, surgical style. And Trey is just flying around, throwing tricks. He's kicking the tire. He's doing foot jams. He's making saves. And you're going to see more of it as it goes on. And both of them are like, wildly entertaining. Maybe you could hear from my enthusiasm, kind of which I prefer. But this battle is so fun to watch, okay? So here comes Steffi. By the way, nice way to get back in the battle, I think, from Trey. It's real easy to just kind of fold when your competitor, when your opponent just kind of starts stacking combos and it's like you just missed a couple tricks. But the dude's he's a beast. He stayed in it. Now here comes Steffi. with the 720 secret side. Dude, this is nuts. A 720 secret side is absolutely sick. Oh, you know what? I forgot one of my little tangents I wanted to go on. I could back to back talk about myself here. Dude, this is. I hope you guys know this is all in good fun. This was what Trey's trick reminded me of. I doubt Trey has ever even seen this, but this is me from 15 years ago or something, doing some version of the back roll kickflip thing. I remember thinking I was so clever for that, man. And also the 720 secret side. That's another unicycle lore MBD, dude. I could never do it like this, though. I did it one time. Doing this trick in a flat battle, high pressure situation. You know, like, Steffi does have to keep landing these tricks to continue applying pressure to Trey. And you can see, he's like, all right, dude, you're going to keep landing stuff? We'll try this one. And here comes, like, look at the technique. He throws it, and you have to land this trick switch. You got to land it switch. That switch hopping, the control is just unbelievable, man. The dude does not miss. Now, I will say, not a huge fan of the one trick turn. And this is not just a Steffi thing. I saw this in a couple battles, and this was happening a lot at Unicon 2021 in Bemidji as well. That was the last Unicon I was at in Minnesota. I don't like a one trick turn. I feel like we should maybe like make a rule about there being a minimum. You got to try 2 tricks or something. I don't know. Something about it, which I can't really articulate right now. I don't like it. Just from a spectator standpoint, I don't like it. I feel like when you go out for your turn, you should have to kind of settle into a turn a little bit. You should have to do 2 or maybe 3 tricks unless you do a combo. And I realize that, you know, maybe that's just me being kind of like, I don't know, they sound kind of like a crotchety old man or something, but something about it kind of kills the vibe for me. But now it's Trey's turn again. All right, he's got to get back in there and do something. He goes for the 1-spin overflip to foot jam. And this is where I think we start to get maybe a little spammy with the foot jam tricks. But it is a cool trick. Hick overflip to foot jam. And then the 9-spin. I know that's a risk for Trey to do a 9-spin. It's another banger. 3-spin, outside roll, rolling wrap, back step over roll. And then here, back roll. This combo kind of just fizzles out a little bit at the end, but I understand. You know, Trey has just fallen again. He's just had his 4th fall of the battle, and Steffi hasn't missed a trick. At this point, you know, you've heard people say it, I'm sure, if you've ever been to a unicycle competition, a flat competition in particular, consistency is key. That is how you win flat battles. You have to be consistent, and so I understand it. I understand ending a combo on a back roll, but when I know what Steffi's capable of, it's like, dude, come on. You know, hit the back roll, and then do a varial roll into like a 5-spin or something. That's what I want to see. I know that'd be so greedy when you're up a little bit in a battle like that, but also if you're ahead, you get a chance to take a risk. Now here comes Trey. 3-spin to outside roll to back it up, but instead of doing the outside roll, he goes for the inward X roll. Has to go to tire. It is really unfortunate that there was the hop on tire there because that does kill the combo. But then into back roll, step over, and then another step over, and then another step over, and you get to see his style there: kick flip, foot jam, and a scuff coast. A scuff coast is a fantastic momentum shifter. Okay, listen to the crowd here. The pressure mounts as you coast, and the longer you go, the more invested people are in, the bigger risk you are taking, and the more people cheer at the end of it, the more you get the judges on your side. You know who used to be so good at the scuff coast in battles it's Dale. This is Dale against me, and this, you know, the crowd here admittedly was kind of small, but this guy's CMQ used to be so sick. I battled Dale here once, and Dale used to be. He used to rip these momentum-shifting scuff coasts in battle a lot. And it's just like, if you're watching your opponent do a long scuff coast, you could feel it. You know, you're like, yeah, I hate to say this. You want to be a good sport, but in your head, you're like, please miss, please miss, please miss, please miss. And then they land it, and you're just like, ah. And if you're not a scuff coast guy, I was riding a round crown frame. You know, I can't back that up. You got to come up with something that's going to build similar hype. Dale used to be really nice at those. And he's emceeing this battle here. I had to give him a shout out. Let's see how Steffi comes back. Just look how effortless this is. That is a 900 side spin. Like, there was a time not that long ago where a 900 side spin was the biggest trick you could do. Okay, it was like nobody had done, well, I can't remember which came first, a 9 side or a 10 spin, but there was like one guy who could do a 10 spin. And if you could 9 side, that was the trick. And he just does them like it's nothing. It is nothing for Steffi to do a 9 side. It is totally a signature trick for him. He has landed some absolute bangers in this battle, and they look straight up easy for him. Okay, this is where I'm starting to get shades of like Adrien Delacroix, the only other 2-time Flatland world champion. You know, a 900 side was one of his signature tricks as well. And I remember thinking that he made it look easy. Dude, nobody makes a 9 side look as easy as Steffi. It's like he doesn't even jump. It's literally flawless. Now here's the first miss of the battle for Steffi. And the first time I watched this, I thought it was a tray side quad. But I'm pretty sure it's just a triple. Let me just double check here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So he misses the tray side triple there, his first miss of the battle, and then you get the first attempt at a direct backup of a trick. So Trey goes for the 9 side, and he did not get it. I think smartly here switches it up. Outside roll to this crazy step over thing. I don't even know what that is. Inward back X roll, steez jam to tire, and then down. Just safe combo. 630. This is Steffi's like, okay. Okay, hang on. I have my notes here. It's 630, 180, jam, outside jam, tire, back roll, and then the 1-footed overflip there. And then he switches the turn. I mean, that was literally perfect. You can tell he's practiced that combo a million times. And Trey's back up again. I think Steffi does a really, really good job of applying pressure to his opponents. I battled Steffi once. You don't even get a chance to think about what you're going to do next. He's got a bag of tricks that he has, I hate to say like rehearsed. I don't know what the word is. He has just got them absolutely dialed. He doesn't miss them. He can rely on his combos. They are mechanical. They are clean. They are so consistent. He's going to land it, and then you got to go. You got to figure something out. You got to respond. Trey, there he gets the 3-sided varial roll. That's a 1-foot coast varial roll, 1-foot jam. Hang on. I'm doing a terrible job. I don't know how Dale does this live. This is nuts. The varial roll there, and then he goes cross on tire, and then like a crossed foot steez coast. Look at the difference in the way these guys do rolls, okay? Like Trey's rolls, he never like does the full revolution. Look at this is, by the way, his only rolling wrap of the entire battle, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like not even really a full rolling wrap. He doesn't even get that second rev. It's like a rolling. He makes a rolling wrap look like it's more difficult for him than like these insane step over rolls. You know, that is Trey's style in these battles. It is hectic. It is crazy. And then he does this like 1 rev coast to finish it off. Steffi takes a little run up. Quad flip there. Again with the 2 hands. I'm not a fan of 2-hand flips. I'm not. Steffi, dude, it's time to do the quad flip with 1 hand. Did he dislocate his right shoulder or his left shoulder? I gotta know. I think he flips with his left hand. So is that the good one? It's time to learn, man. Let's see what Trey does here. 1 spin, biggest trick of the battle. Goes for the Honster backflip. And you know what? I think he needed to land this one. This is like, it's like when you're watching football. Sorry to get all American on you European guys, but I am talking about real football, American football. It's like when the guys, they're running with the ball, and it's an obvious touchdown, and they celebrate a half a second early. Like, Trey, why are you surprised that you landed that? Dude, that trick is named after you, brother. Don't be surprised. You did it. And then the celebration causes the fall, and it's like, that's a heartbreaker, honestly. Like, that would have been a really nice cherry on top of a pretty impressive battle. Instead, it's another X. And now it's Steffi's turn to finish this thing off. So he goes 3 spin to the outside crank to tire, tries to do the 270 side down. I wanted to shout out Cyril. If you don't know this guy, he was the best at the 3 spin to outside crank. I'm sorry, Pierre, but Cyril, he did it best. Look at this. Boop. Just clicky. Clicks right into place. Look at this. Bop. Right on there. And he could combo this thing for days. Bop. Locks right in. And then outside to outside. Boom. Just snaps right in there. Boom. This dude had sick style. I battled Cyril a couple times. I think we were 1-1. I beat him once. He beat me at EUC. I just love the way he does that, man. I love the way he does this 3-spin outside crank. I should learn that. I might put that on the list. I'm buying a trials wheel tomorrow for my buddy Costi. I'm hoping it inspires me to ride more. Anyway, I love that trick. I love it. I've done it once, but it was gross. I need to, I want to get better at it. I respect that Steffi tried it. I think it's maybe a little outside his comfort zone. Actually, this is not. I've never seen him do this in battle before. I would have liked to see it there. The shoe falls off. The shoe falls off. Listen to the crowd. Look at Dale. Look at Dale in the background, dude. He's like, the little bit of drama. The shoe falls off. The clock is ticking. 5, 4, 3, and he goes for the 1080 as a buzzer beater and misses it. That would have been just way too hype. But look at him, still cute, cool as a cucumber, man. I stand by the idea that this is. I stand by the idea that this was a very close battle. Okay, Steffi landed more tricks. Trey, he fell more. It's true. I think the tricks that Trey landed are more interesting. I realize that is incredibly subjective. I think he had a little more variety. Okay, Steffi's tricks. They're unbelievable. They are sick. He is unbelievably consistent. But his tricks are like, they're not as interesting as Trey's. I don't know how else to say it. Like a 720 secret side, it's insane. A Honster flip is like weird, dude. When I was watching these guys, when I watch Steffi ride, I think, how is he landing all this stuff? How is he doing all this? How is his baffling consistency and his control? When I watch Trey, I'm like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? I'm like, what are these tricks, dude? He has the most bizarre bag of tricks, and I love it. And both of these guys are awesome. You could not ask for a cooler final battle, in my opinion. This was really, really fun to watch. And so now it's, it comes down to final tricks for me. Really, it does. I think that if at this point in the battle, and I don't know what the judges were thinking, maybe they could weigh in the comments. I think if Trey lands a massive banger and Steffi misses his final trick or lands something safe, I think Trey's got a chance. On the other hand, if Steffi lands, I don't know, one of the best tricks ever done, and if Trey misses or lands a trick that's pretty good, I think you give the win to Steffi. And I got to say, I feel like if I were Steffi, I would feel maybe like I had a little bit of a lead heading into this. I don't know what the vibe was. I don't know really what he was thinking. But he goes for broke with the Adri whip, which is just, it is awesome. Okay, it's an awesome trick. And Trey does this. 1 spin over Trey flip. Okay, and we got to talk about this. It's a technical trick. The unicycle is spinning fast. listen to the crowd reaction, okay? Listen to the crowd reaction to Steffi attempting the Adria whip. Okay? And listen to them when Trey goes for this. It's just not, the energy is not there, okay? You need a trick that amplifies the crowd. High amplitude trick is what we're looking for a final trick. This trick is insane. It's highly technical. I can't do that trick. It's not going to beat an Adria whip. It's not. This was a time to bust out the Honster whip, dude. I'm telling you, this was like, I feel like this was, you just go for it. You lean into the adrenaline of the competition and you say, you know what? If this goes down, this is the sickest possible way to win this thing. And if not, I went for it. I understand what Trey was doing. He wants to land this. He feels like he's in it, and I agree he's in it. But this is not the trick to beat Steffi. Especially if he lands this Adria whip, and maybe Trey's thinking like, all right, there's no way he's going to land this. I'm sure he wasn't thinking that. I'm sure realizes, what a formidable foe Steffi is. And you'll see, obviously, you guys know what happens here on the next try. If you're on Instagram at all over the last couple weeks, you've seen this. Listen to the crowd. Yeah, I mean, what a hype moment, dude. Don't you just love these moments of unicycle spirit? Someone lands a sick trick, and it's like the crowd just rushes them. It's so clean. Literally a perfect Adria whip to close out the battle for Steffi. Trey misses the second try. He's getting closer. It is a good trick. X up over Trey. I don't want to downplay it. How many people can do this? Like 3? And he pulls it on the final. Yeah, the crowd likes it. Steffi likes it. Dude's a great sport. So let's see here. How does Trey land these things, dude? One spin, kicks the pedal into a Trey flip, under rotates it a little bit, but still somehow can pull it off. I mean, if that's not like the perfect summary of how Trey's riding is, I don't know what is. Highly technical. He's optimized the technique. He can land it no matter what. And it's like, it's not the trick to beat the Adria whip, but it is sick. I'm so glad both guys landed their final trick, actually. Really, I should give them both credit for just that. The final battle at Unicon, if someone doesn't land their final trick, it's kind of a bummer, To see them both do it, from a spectator standpoint, chef's kiss. We love it. We love to see that. And here's the moment you've all been waiting for. Oh, the announcer, I forgot her name in the last one. It's Yasmin Bot. So shout out Yasmin. She did a good job. Back-to-back world champion. Steffi Ronk, and there they go. Look at them all, hoisting them into the air. Wow. It's just sick, guys. There's nothing like a Unicon flat comp. You know what I mean? It's just, the vibes are immaculate. All right, well, that was cool. If you guys enjoyed that, let me know in the comments. I want to do breakdowns like these for the other battles. Maybe not quite as much yapping out of me, but I like to look at the tricks. I like to try to, any connection that just pops into my head, I just let myself go down whatever path the tricks take me on. It's my little, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Sometimes I feel like, maybe it's a little off topic or something, but I just want to talk about tricks. I want to talk about unicycle tricks. I want to talk about flat battles. I think it's sick. I think it's crazy that Steffi won back-to-back Flatland titles. What an accomplishment. The dude's absolutely unreal. And Trey put up a fight. He had him on the ropes. He did not roll over. And there were opportunities, for Steffi to kind of bury him. And Trey just stayed in there. And he landed some stuff that looked like there's no way he's going to land it. And he just pulled it off. Dude, I'm telling you, the comment from Mike Backlita about Trey just looking like a gunslinger shoot from the hip. What a perfect illustration of the difference in styles. You got the Swiss watch, perfectly programmed. Just, boop, I'm going to do this trick. Back roll, step over, into Ludwig roll, into back X roll, to 3-spin, land it perfectly. And then Trey's just like, okay, varial roll, I'm going to do a foot jam. And then, I got 3-quarter rev ghost. I don't know what. And he just ends up in another varial roll. And then it's like stuff is just happening. Very entertaining. I hope you guys liked my little breakdown. Let me know. Drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be doing more of these. I'll see you guys in the next one.